They don't follow the rules, they rewrite them. Have you ever met someone who seems to operate on a completely different frequency, like the rules of life simply don't apply to them? Picture this. You walk into a room filled with people making small talk, laughing at jokes that aren't even funny, and trying to impress anyone who will listen. And then there's this one guy, alone in the corner, calm, collected, observing everything, not needing to speak to be noticed, not trying to impress. And yet, everyone senses there's something different about him. That, my friend, is a Sigma male. Sigma males live in a way that seems borderline illegal to the average person. Not because they break the law, but because they break norms. They shatter expectations, escape the matrix of conformity, and challenge what society has deemed normal. Welcome, Sigmas, to a wild ride into the minds and lives of those who don't just walk the unbeaten path, they create it. Today, we're diving deep into 11 things Sigma males do that feel illegal to normal people. And trust me, by the end of this, you might realize you've been a Sigma all along, or at least wish you were. Because these men live by a code that demands silence over noise, purpose over popularity, and authenticity over approval. They don't care if society clutches its pearls. They're too busy building empires in silence. So buckle up, let's crack this code. Point 1. Disappearing without explanation. To the average person, ghosting feels like a betrayal. It's seen as rude, cold, or even cruel. But to a Sigma male, it's just Tuesday. Ghosting isn't about games or manipulation for him, it's about self-preservation. Sigma males value solitude like oxygen. They often retreat from social noise not out of malice but to recharge and refocus. Psychologists recognize this trait in introverted personalities who experience social burnout. For Sigmas, alone time isn't loneliness, it's restoration. They don't need validation through constant connection. While most people struggle with silence, a Sigma thrives in it. It's his natural element. He won't text back just to soothe your ego. He's not trying to be mysterious. He's prioritizing mental clarity and personal growth. And when he reappears, he won't explain himself, because to him there's nothing to explain. Others fake connections to keep up appearances. Sigmas disappear to become stronger, sharper, and more unstoppable. Point 2. Saying no without guilt. Want to watch a Sigma male rattle the world? Watch him say no. Not rudely, not arrogantly, just no. And that simple word feels like rebellion to people-pleasers everywhere. Sigma males aren't wired for guilt-based decisions. They don't bend for fake friendships, pointless meetings, or social pressure. He won't join your group trip, attend your office happy hour, or say yes to things that drain him. And he doesn't feel bad about it, because Sigmas understand this truth. Saying no to others is saying yes to themselves, and that kind of self-prioritization feels illegal in a world that worships burnout. Point 3. Enjoying being misunderstood. Here's the paradox. The more misunderstood a Sigma is, the more powerful he becomes. Most people desperately want to be understood, validated, and liked. Sigmas? They thrive in the shadows of misinterpretation. They know that being different comes at the price of being misunderstood. But they wear that as armor, not shame. They don't waste time explaining themselves to the masses. They let their results do the talking, their silence louder than your applause. It frustrates people who can't label them, who can't box them in. But Sigmas were never made for boxes anyway. Point 4. Thriving without a tribe. We live in a world that constantly screams, find your tribe, find your people. Society glorifies connection, validation, and shared identity. But Sigma males, they walk a different path, alone by choice. Sigmas don't seek approval or applause. They don't rely on a circle of friends or a crowd to feel validated. Instead, they move with quiet confidence, led by their own values and purpose. This doesn't mean they're antisocial. It means they're selectively social. They value authenticity over popularity. In a hyper-connected world where constant interaction is the norm, choosing solitude feels like rebellion. But for the Sigma, solitude isn't loneliness, it's empowerment. It's in these quiet moments that they reflect, grow, and sharpen their inner vision. Psychological studies even show that people who are comfortable being alone tend to have higher emotional intelligence and creativity. That's the Sigma's edge. They've discovered the rare strength in walking alone and owning every step. Point 5. Observing more than speaking. Most people talk to fill space. Sigmas remain silent to create depth. In a noisy world obsessed with being heard, the Sigma male chooses silence as a tool of strength. He listens first, not because he's unsure, but because he's collecting data. Psychologists say that active listening improves social intelligence and emotional awareness. Sigmas use this to read people like open books. Their silence isn't awkward, it's intentional. They speak only when their words carry weight, and that's why their voice hits harder when it's finally heard. While others compete to be loud, the Sigma commands presence through calm. Silence, for him, is a calculated strategy. Point 6. Living like they don't need validation. In a world addicted to likes, comments, and claps, Sigma males walk around like they didn't get the memo. They don't post for validation. They don't dress to impress. They don't adjust their personalities for social approval. To most people, this is confusing, scary even, because they can't understand how someone could not care what others think. But Sigma males derive their confidence from within. They're not built by applause. They're built in silence, in struggle, in solitude. And when they walk into a room, their authenticity speaks louder than any flex ever could. Point 7. Walking away without drama. Most people crave closure. One last conversation, a flurry of emotions, even a dramatic goodbye. But Sigma males operate differently. When a relationship, friendship, or environment no longer aligns with their peace or growth, they don't announce it with fireworks. They simply walk away. No drama, no drawn-out goodbyes. Just silence. This might seem cold to those who are emotionally dependent, but for Sigmas, it's a deeply personal boundary. Their detachment isn't about avoiding emotions. It's about prioritizing mental clarity and self-respect. Psychologists describe this behavior as quiet quitting relationships, where one distances themselves without confrontation, often as a form of emotional self-preservation. Sigmas understand that not every connection deserves closure. Some just need to end. They don't burn bridges, they just stop walking across them. And in doing so, they protect their energy and continue their path with focus and independence. That's not heartless, it's wisdom dressed in silence. Point 8. Outsmarting systems quietly. Sigmas are master tacticians. They don't storm the gates, they find the back door. While the world waits for permission, Sigmas figure things out. They bypass red tape, dodge social expectations, and craft unconventional paths to success. They're the guy who gets the job without the degree, builds the business without the funding, learns the skills without the schooling. They disrupt without making noise, rebel without making scenes. To the average person, their quiet victories feel unfair. But that's the thing. Sigmas play a different game. Point 9. Laughing at what others take seriously. People take pride in outrage today. Everything's offensive. Everyone's angry. Sigmas? They're chuckling in the background. They don't get caught up in drama, gossip, or fake crises. They maintain emotional detachment that confuses others. Why? Because they know most of it doesn't matter. They don't waste energy reacting to nonsense. Their humor, dry, sharp, sometimes dark, becomes a shield against a hypersensitive world. And it makes them seem almost too chill, as if they live in a different reality, because in many ways they do. Point 10. Choosing passion over paychecks. While most people chase job titles, financial security, and social status, Sigma males take a different path. They chase passion. Instead of trading their soul for a high-paying job they hate, Sigmas would rather earn less doing what fuels their spirit. This mindset confuses and even terrifies the average person who has been conditioned to equate success with status and income. But here's the truth. Studies in psychology show that people who pursue intrinsic goals like personal growth and meaningful work report higher levels of life satisfaction than those chasing extrinsic goals like fame or wealth. Sigmas understand this. They're not lazy. They're deeply aligned with what matters to them. While others may see quitting the rat race as reckless, Sigmas see it as reclaiming their freedom. They don't measure success in material gain, but in purpose, peace, and the joy of waking up every day excited to live life on their terms. Point 11. Refusing to compete. Sigmas don't compete, they create. In a world where everyone's fighting for the spotlight, Sigma males step away from the chaos and do something radical. They focus on their own lane. Instead of racing to outshine others, they build something so unique that comparison becomes irrelevant. Psychologically, this aligns with intrinsic motivation, driven by passion, not praise. While the alpha seeks dominance and the beta seeks approval, the sigma seeks mastery. They're the quiet architects of innovation, spending hours refining their craft, often unnoticed. But when their work finally emerges, it's not just good, it's game-changing. Think of visionaries like Steve Jobs or Elon Musk. They didn't follow trends, they set them. That's sigma energy. It's not about winning someone else's game, it's about inventing a new one altogether. No fanfare, no noise, just results. While the world obsesses over trophies, sigmas are already building the next level. Sigmas, if you found yourself nodding through this video, congrats, you're not weird. You're rare. You weren't made to follow, you were made to forge. So own your solitude, embrace your silence. Build your empire on your terms. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to join this growing community of lone wolves, silent warriors, and unapologetic nonconformists. Let the world wonder. Let them talk. You've got better things to do. Having said this,